Hello everyone out in the YouTube universe, I'm Rob Goodwin and I am finally back in front of the camera doing another video for you wonderful people, and it's been literally since February since I've done one, and preaching to the choir here, but this whole COVID 1984 BS has interrupted everyone's lives to some degree. Some even it's impacted more than others obviously, and I'm trying to get back some sense of normalcy in every aspect of my life, thank God. It is time, it's long overdue. Let's get back to work and jump back into the trenches and do this. So, coming to you today, I'm completely unscripted. I knew I had to do something. I've got a great group of subscribers out there. We really want to try to add to that. We want to keep providing good, honest, unedited, uncut content for all of you people regarding health, strength, nutrition, most of it coming from a ketogenic or primal perspective. We want to talk about longevity, all those good things that we're known for doing. So I'm excited to be back in front of the camera. We're going to talk about 3 things today, and I literally just thought of them off the top of my head after answering a couple of emails and talking to some of my online clients. So I'm going to talk about 3 things. It's going to be fast. It's going to be bam, bam, bam. Rapid fire kind of a session today, so stay tuned. Let's get this thing rolling. And we're back. Okay, so 3 things I want to talk about today. And again, I just thought of these off the top of my head. I've got no notes, nothing scripted, but it's going to be fairly easy to talk about because when I regularly get questions or feedback from either people in our Facebook groups or off, Instagram, or from online clientele, clients in the trenches, and just from the barrage of correspondence that I get each and every day from people with questions, when I get a couple of questions that are very repetitive, then I like to address those because obviously it's something important to a lot of people and I want to cover these things. And number 1 is, especially this time of year, it's June, it's hot, it's beach weather, we're getting outside, we're going to the pool, we're going to the lake, we're wearing, tank tops and even going shirtless and bathing suits, whatever. People are always saying, I want to get muscular, especially the guys, girls too. In fact, some of my most badass clients are women. This is no secret. But everyone wants to know, can I get really muscular? Can I get jacked? Whatever. But I also want to get really, really lean for summer. I want a 6-pack or 8-pack or freaking 12-pack, whatever you want. You want to be really lean for those summer months as well. Well, I hate to kind of burst your bubble, and while it is possible to simultaneously put on some muscle while shredding or pulling off the fat from your frame, that will level off fairly quickly, and it works best if you're new in the training process. If you haven't been training in a long time or ever, and you jump right into it, the training effect is going to be rapid initially, and you can definitely put on some muscle while peeling off some body fat at the same time. However, if the goal is to put on as much muscularity as humanly possible to really build the most impressive physique that you can, the physique that you have in your head, you really have to, as I talk about in the rules of engagement little download that I created on the ketogenic bodybuilding people from that Facebook group and on the website, it's one of the rules of engagement is you need to decide whether you're trying to build or you're trying to cut, and then act accordingly. So it's something people generally don't want to hear, but you really need to pick one. You're either in a gaining phase or you're in a cutting phase. And once again, you can definitely in the first, short amount of time, typically 4 to 6 weeks or whatever, you can put on some lean muscle, but that's going to taper off, because if you're trying to build as much muscle as humanly possible for your genetics and your goals, you need to be in a caloric surplus. If you want to get as lean as you possibly can, and I mean like stage ready, like, photo session lean with vascularity and separation and exposed abdominals, all that kind of good stuff, and striations in the muscle, you need to be in a caloric deficit in order to achieve that. And you have to have the right combination and ratios of macronutrients, and that caloric deficit will vary among individuals. It varies by genetics, it varies by output and the type of training that you're doing, the level of intensity, and cardiovascular efforts, things like that. So you're going to want to need to be in a caloric deficit. It's hard to build muscle in a caloric deficit. And when you get older up there in years, like, old people like me, it's extremely difficult. Even me at 51, I've spent the last, 5 or 6 years competing. Basically, I jumped back, I jumped into the ring in 2000, when did I do that? 2014, I started training for a competition. And I've been doing competitions pretty much each, yearly since 2015 up until 2019. And I've decided to, stop doing that for now and focus more just on general health and fitness, and still trying to be the absolute best I can be at my age. But even me at 51, and my last competition I was 50, I knew that when I went into I did a 12-week cut. I knew that once I reached that cut, I was going to lose a little muscle. It's inevitable. And, this is something that you deal with in order to get super lean. And I didn't care, because I know that's part of the process. And even at my age, back when I was in, a gain phase, the amount of muscle that a 50-year-old or even a 40-year-old or whatever can put on, that amount of muscle, that increase diminishes as we age. So I was very realistic, and I would often say to people, right now, I'm just trying to maintain as much muscularity and lean tissue as I possibly can and put on just a little bit more, God willing, so I worked toward that very, very hard. So that was part of the process. In terms of getting lean, you have to be in that caloric deficit. If you're trying to get big and jacked and put on muscle, you have to be at a surplus. So pick one and act accordingly. Here's the cool thing about that, to sum this up, make it simple. When you get to, for a man, if you get to sub 10% body fat, and generally with a woman, if you're somewhere sub 14 to 16%, once you get to that level of leanness, you are going to, appear to be even bigger than you are, because a very lean, separated, cut physique appears much larger than one that's not so cut. A great example is in the off season, I'd get up to 200, 235 pounds, and then I would shred that down for competition and get down to anywhere from 206 to 210 pounds generally. Well, when you look at that 206 to 210 pound physique next to me when I was 230, a lot of people would guess that I was even bigger at 206, because you have that the visual, the smoke and mirrors of being super, super lean translates into you looking so much bigger. So maybe not so much in clothes, but it's really going to pay off at the beach or out on the lake this summer. So guys, ladies, it's that time of year. If you want to be lean and ripped and shredded, get into that caloric deficit, work your macros properly, keep that protein up. Fat is just according to your level of output and energy requirements. Keep your carbohydrates very low. I stick to almost exclusively fibrous vegetables when I'm cutting. And then if you can stick to that strict dietary compliance, give yourself, 6 to 8 weeks, and you can do amazing things if you really push it hard. So again, you need to decide, am I trying to gain or am I trying to lose? You make that decision and you act accordingly, right? So there's that. So hopefully that answered that question. Number 2, I want to talk about intensity. And in terms of intensity, you could say this is intensity part 603, section B, paragraph 2 for me, because when we talk about training, I'm always going to throw the word intensity out to you. Yes, form and technique is critical. Yes, volume, the amount of volume or the precise amount of volume is critical. Consistency is critical. Choosing the right exercises for your goals or the type of training modality for your goals is important. But nothing is more important than working at a high level intensity. If you want to grow, if you want to get that physique that you have in your head, you need to train at an extremely high level. So remember that. And what made me want to talk about this today is because if you're, for example, and I'll use this as an example, if you're one of my online clients, the cool thing about the software and the app that I use is when I design a workout for you and I put it on your calendar and you pull that workout up on your app, you complete the workout. It has the exercise, the number of sets, the number of repetitions, instructions on what you need to do, if it's a superset or a pre-exhaust or a rest pause set or a straight set or whatever. You can enter all that information in. And once the workout is complete, you then have the opportunity to rate that workout in terms of rate of perceived exertion, how difficult it was to you. 1 being it was super easy, practically nothing, and 10 being in super insane all-out effort. Okay, super difficult, almost beyond hard. So there are times when a client, and it's generally sometimes a new client because I'll usually give them this speech at some point, if you put on there that workout was a 5 out of 10, let's say, which would be a moderate effort or a moderate intense workout, then I usually am going to throw the bullshit flag on that, because here's why. I have been training for nearly 30 years at a fairly high level consistently throughout those 30 years in one way or another. I could take any workout that I have prescribed for any client, male, female, young, old, beginner, intermediate, advanced. I could take any one of those workout and I can make that workout a 10 out of 10. It's about what you put into the effort. I'm going to choose a weight for any particular movement that has me reaching that point of momentary muscular failure at the rep range listed. And then I'm going to try to even push beyond that with each set. If it takes, shortening the rest in between sets, keep that intensity high, manipulating certain movements. For example, if push-ups come easy for you, and I were to put on your program for the 4th exercise in your workout, I need you to do 50 push-ups. If 50 push-ups is easy for you, then change the difficulty of the movement. Put your feet on an elevated platform, put on a weight vest, have somebody push down on you, grab a kid and throw them on your back, whatever it takes. Make that effort very, very difficult, because that's what it takes to coax growth. That's what it takes to make your body change. The body doesn't want to change. It wants to always strive to seek balance. It's a defense mechanism. Change and muscle growth is a defense mechanism, and the body doesn't really want to go through that. It's comfortable where it is. It likes where the thermostat is set. So you have to really push hard to push that thermostat up and to make your body want to change. Homeostasis can be a bitch, especially if you're trying to make a super wholesale change in how you look and how you feel, your health, etc. So regardless of what workout you're doing, make sure that you do whatever you have to do to make that workout as challenging as you possibly can. Now, there are times where you may be, in a taper or a recovery week or whatever. That's fine, and typically when I'm working with a client, I'll let them know when that's the case. But if that's not the case, then you need to wake up every day ready to freaking crap thunder and eat lightning and give it everything you got if you want to accomplish the vision that's in your head of how you want to look. So intensity, intensity, intensity. I can't stress this enough. If you want the results, you need to work harder. Period. Are we cool? Good. And I think there's a lot of my clients out there, my online clients as well, that are sitting there going, yeah, you're right, or yep, I've got that speech, so you understand where I'm coming from. So, okay, is that cool? That's cool. All right, so last thing I want to talk about today, and I'm going to probably say this 3 times or more. This is not a sales pitch. It is not. I wanted to talk a little bit today about my nutrition-only coaching program, because it is one of the number one questions that I get. How does this coaching program work just for nutrition only? Because I have so many clients in our Facebook groups talking about how well it's working for them and how it's changed them. They want to know more about it. So sometimes you don't really get a clear understanding when you read things, and most people don't have the time to read through all the literature. So let me just explain it here for you right now. My nutrition only program, number one, I priced it in a way that I truly feel anyone can afford. Anyone can put it in their budget. Anyone can fit, that amount of money into their lifestyle. It's $59. And you need to look at this $59 investment as, you can look at it as a one-time investment, or you can look at it as a reoccurring monthly investment that you can stop at any time that you feel like you have everything that you need. The way it works is this. You sign up for the $59 nutrition only coaching plan. I'm going to send you, once you're enrolled, I'm going to send you information on how you can download my extremely thorough and user-friendly app onto your smartphone or tablet. Then I'm going to collect as much information from you as I possibly can via questionnaires and questions and so on and so forth. We're going to create that dialogue. You also have the opportunity within the app to take your initial progress photos of yourself, so we can track progress as we go as well, because visual progress is the best. I did a video a while back about Murder Your Scale and how visual progress and photographic progress works so much better than the scale weight. The scale weight's kind of meaningless and arbitrary. So you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to check measurements. You are going to be able to check scale weight if you like, and you're going to be able to log that all in there. And then I'm going to watch you track your meals for a day or two. And you're going to do this through the MyFitnessPal app. Currently, that's the only food tracking app that my software syncs with. Hopefully, there'll be more in the future, but for right now, you'd be using the MyFitnessPal app to log your food. And then what it does is it syncs to my app, and it works sort of by proxy. So when you log your food, your macros, your fat, protein, and carbohydrate grams are automatically synced into my app, your calories, everything. So all I got to do is click on the calendar for any given day, and I can see how many calories you've consumed, and it happens in real time. I can look at noon and see where you're at, and then I can look at 8 p.m. and see how you finished up. So I see how you've consumed your food. I can even see what foods you consumed. And then I can give you feedback, and I can say, hey, you need to bring that protein up, or hey, the fat's a little high, or the fat's a little low. Watch your carbs. You got a little over on your caloric ceiling that we set for you. So I'm going to set your custom macros and your caloric ceiling based on what your goals are and the feedback that you give to me. And then you have this great accountability tool in that app to track your food. And I can even help you track cardio and things like that as well. The only thing you don't get is workouts. So if you're all set with your workout programming, this may be the only tool you need. So let's say you go through a month of the nutrition only coaching. And let's say you get through that month and you've been in the trenches with this thing for 30, 31 days. You get it. You understand what you're doing. Your macros have been set. You understand the process. You've got the food list that I've given you. I give you this great and thorough food list. And if you decide that that's all you need, you have all the information you need, great. We'll stop the process, and then you're good to go. A lot of my nutrition-only clients keep it going month to month. So it's $59 a month, as long as you want to go. I have people that have been doing it ever since we started it months and months ago. I have people that do it for 2 or 3 months. I have people that do it for 6 months or whatever. The ball's in your court. You're in control. So I have seen other trainers and coaches out there charge considerably more for a lot less. Cookie cutter meal plans, cookie cutter, like PDFs and that kind of stuff. Where with this nutrition accountability tool, you have everything custom set for you. And the cool thing is I'm always available to answer any questions you have at any time. You basically have 24/7 dialogue with me. If you have a question, you message me right on the app. You get top priority answers. If I'm awake and I'm not, in the throes of training a client or doing whatever, you're going to get an answer generally within minutes. So it's a great way to always hold yourself accountable, let me hold you accountable, and you got somebody in your corner at all times that can help you through the process of either eating to get larger and more muscular, or eating to get shredded and leaner, or eating for athletic purposes. Or, I work for everybody from physique competitors and bodybuilders to ultra runners and CrossFitters and cyclists and runners and just weekend warriors, all types. So something you might want to consider, because I am excited about it, because we can offer so much for so little, and it puts you in control of how you want to use the program. So nobody's committed to anything. That's what's so great about it, because I never wanted anybody to feel like they were under any financial pressure whatsoever with this program. So check it out. All the links for this stuff is here under the video, so check that out. So that's all I really wanted to talk about today. I just basically wanted to get in front of the camera and let you guys know I'm still alive, and there's going to be more content coming. I'm planning a whole lot of in-depth videos coming up over the next few weeks, so definitely stay tuned, and please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you're really into this stuff, hit the little notifications bell so you know when I'm always uploading videos. So stay tuned, because there's a lot more coming. If you have any feedback, leave a comment, and I'll try to get back with you as quick as possible. So until the next video, I'm heading out. I'm actually heading out of town for a couple of days, trying to clear my head from all the insanity that's going on in the world right now. And I'll be back in a couple of days ready to rock with both feet on the ground and running. So hang in there, guys. Let me know if you need anything. And until next time, go eat a big steak, go train your ass off, stay safe out there, and peace.